अस्सलाम वालेकुम, वेलकम टू गेम सेट मैच। आई होप आप लोग खैरियत से होंगे और अच्छे से अपना ख्याल रख रहे होंगे। अनदर डे अनदर शो एंड आज का शो जो है वो स्पेशल है। वो स्पेशल इस वजह से है बिकॉज आज जो मेहमान हमारे साथ हैं वो हमारी टीम के लिए बहुत स्पेशल है, बिकॉज नाउ इज द टाइम दैट पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट टीम वुड बी इन टोटल ग्रूव। श्रीलंका पहुंच चुकी है, श्रीलंका में है इस वक्त पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट टीम एंड यहाँ से जो सफ़र शुरू होगा तो लगातार हमारी टीम, हमारी नेशनल टीम जो है वो एक्शन में रहेगी। सो यस, लेट मी वेलकम द मैन ऑफ द आवर, पाकिस्तान's former head coach and the serving team director right now, Mickey Arthur. Hi Mickey and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sawera. Thank you very much.
I hope you're putting up well.
I am. Thank you. I understood most of what you said there as well.
I know
Urdu is still quite good.
I definitely know you know a lot of Urdu now. I know. You've been saying bhai for a longer time now.
I have.
So Mickey, starting off, first of all, how is this engagement of being the team director going so far for the team?
Yeah, look, it's going really, really well, Sawera, and I need to get out there exactly what the role is. So I've set up the whole international cricket support staff structure. They all report into me. We plan, strategize. I'm busy just putting together all the last little bits of strategy in terms of the Sri Lankan players, venues, etc. And the players do the coaches then go out and do the day-to-day coaching. However, come the start of the World Cup, I'll be full-time with Pakistan. So I then move into the Pakistan role for 6 months full-time, live in Pakistan and am incorporated back in that way. So it's a role that works. It's done a lot by other international cricket teams. We see the likes of Rob Key, we see the likes of Ben Oliver at Australia. So it's a role that works and one that I think is really needed because it takes away from the pressures of the day-to-day running of the team, which the coaches do and the coaching staff do, but it allows me a helicopter vision of our whole structure in terms of strategy, in terms of selection, and in terms of structure. So it's working really well at the moment.
And you know that you've been here before. You know all these players really well. You have seen these players from being a rookie to being a star right in front of you. Mickey, does it make it is it easy or does it make it tough to make them understand your philosophy now? Because you have been connected to these players. You have seen Babar Azam grow the way Babar Azam has grown to being the captain of Team Pakistan. Is it easy or difficult?
No, it's very easy, Sawera, because I've been in touch with these players right from the time that I left Pakistan. I've watched every game. I've been involved in their careers going forward. Even though I wasn't coached, I still had a lot of communication with these players. And if these players weren't involved, if I didn't have a massive interest like I have and passion for Pakistan cricket, and particularly this group of young players who have now become world-class players, then I wouldn't have taken the job. But I've taken the job because I totally believe in these young players. Yeah. I believe that giving them structure, giving them security, giving them peace of mind, helping them still develop their games even further is something that really excites me. And I know that with this core group of players, well, they're not so young anymore, but they're still very, very talented. Yeah. Pakistan cricket needs to achieve more than it has over the last little bit. Pakistan cricket needs to be winning World Cups. We go to Sri Lanka now, where we start the next phase of the World Test Championship. Pakistan cricket need to be playing in the final of that World Test Championship in 2 years' time. We have the talent. We need to play a brand of cricket that's reflective of our talent and not the way we've played over the last couple of years.
And over the period of time, I believe you have realized that these boys just need a pathway, a proper pathway just to move further and just incorporate their talent, because the talent is there. We always talk about Pakistan having a raw talent, but there is this way and pathway that they require and need to perform at that level. So then comes in the play the Pakistan way. What is the Pakistan way, Mickey?
It's something that I sat down, myself, Grant Bradburn, Rian Al-Haq, we sat down and we worked out, what do we want this team to stand for? Now, this team has an incredible supporter base. It's got a very, very passionate fan base, one that I'm very, very passionate about as well. It has numerous amounts of talent. There is so much talent. The players just need to understand they just need to understand the meaning of what they're playing for, and they also need to be given the wings to fly. And when I say given the wings to fly, I'm saying they need to be able to go out and express themselves within their characters. World cricket has changed.
Yes.
And Pakistan over the last couple of years hadn't changed with the times. The game has gone to another level. So if we want to compete with the best, and I'm talking England, I'm talking Australia, I'm talking India. If we want to continually compete with those teams, we have to push our game to the limits.
Sure.
Now, the Pakistan way pushes those games to the limits. It's a more aggressive game plan. It's a more aggressive style. But with that more aggressive style comes a sense of security for the players. It also is very clear in terms of the role definition of the players. And it also is a philosophy that we want to be inculcated all the way down through our Pakistan Shaheen program and into our under-19 program.
Yeah.
So that the players that are in those groups know exactly what the Pakistan way stands for, but they also know what the structure is, and they also know their pathway into becoming the player that they want to be. So it's a very, very good document. It's one that I've presented to the players. It's one I've presented to the staff, and it's one that we are continually working towards. If you had a look at the camp, we've had spin camps, we've had batting camps, we've had pace bowler camps. We've invited the best players over the last couple of months to the NCA. We've sold them this program, and Grant Bradburn, his coaching staff, and Rian Al-Haq have done a wonderful job selling this philosophy to these players. We want the players then to have a very clear pathway of what it entails and what it looks like for them in terms of their roles in order to become the best players they can be. So it's a very simple philosophy, yet so deep in terms of how far it reaches to players in Pakistan.
Mickey, yes, on the grassroots level, maybe even on in that under-19 time frame, you can mold the players that way. Do you think at the national level, will you guys be able to mold the players that way? How will you go about it?
Yeah, it's very easy. We can mold the players, and I'll tell you why we can, Sawera, is because they've got the talent, because they're good enough. They've just got to believe in their ability. But as I said earlier, with us wanting to take these players to another level, we've also got to back them in. So what has happened in the past, because of the instabilities always in Pakistan cricket, players get picked. Then there's a change in coaching staff, and then players have got to prove themselves again because the new coaches come in and change the philosophy up. And it happens all the time. So what you find is players becoming very insular and playing for themselves instead of playing for the team. And now that's a natural reaction. Exactly. And if they start playing for themselves because they're insecure in their environment, because they're playing to be selected for the next test and the next tour, etc., what happens is players aren't allowed to go out there and express themselves. They play a tentative brand of cricket. So from myself and my staff, we are trying to give the players the security. We're trying to back them in. We're trying to make it's very clear that it's a team-first policy and not individual. Because if we get the team operating to the best of their ability, there's no team in the world that can stop us. In terms of all the other little stuff, it's the little 1%ers that make a difference, Sawera. When you're talking about international teams and you're talking about the best, and I believe Pakistan is in the best bracket. When you're talking about the best, it's the 1%ers that make a difference. All the players have the talent. All the players have the ability that are playing there. Again, the players just need to feel backed. They need to know exactly where they stand. They need to know exactly what's required of them. But then the 1%ers come in. The 1%ers for me that we can control is fitness levels. We can control our fielding standards.
Yes.
We can control our running between the wickets. Those little 1%ers that we can control are going to be the difference for us in beating the best or not beating the best, because the margins between the top teams are so very small. So we can't let the 1%ers slip at all. That's where myself and the coaching team are going to be particularly pedantic in the players understanding exactly what we want from them.
But Mickey, you being the head coach, like Mickey Arthur, the head coach, and now Mickey Arthur, the team director, what difference do you see in these two positions? What exactly is the difference now?
Well, the difference is that I'll be with the team consistently day in and day out for 6 months of the year. Okay. I sit with a helicopter vision of the team. The planning structure is done between myself, Grant Bradburn, Rian Al-Haq, and our team of wonderful coaches. We've put the structure in place. All the communication with the players is from myself and Grant Bradburn. So myself and Grant Bradburn's messages are aligned. I spent hours and hours talking to my staff on a daily basis to make sure that our messaging is 100% aligned, because we can't confuse the players and we can't confuse the structure.
Exactly.
Again, Sawera, as I say, I've got so many things. I had so many things on, but this role with Pakistan is one that I am so enthusiastic and enthused about, because I believe I can make a total difference. So in terms of being head coach and this team director, I'm not working daily with the players, but I'm setting about structure, I'm setting about vision, I'm doing all the communication. We're looking at our selection strategies, and we're looking at players that can make a difference within the team. And then I do communicate with them. The planning in terms of our day-to-day is done by Grant Bradburn and his staff, of which I oversee. So it's a very streamlined structure that works is working incredibly well at the moment. I can't wait to be day in and day out with the team. So I can't wait for the World Cup, because then I will be physically around the players, which is going to be great. But for the minute, it's not a bad thing to have a step away, watch what the other teams around the world are doing, and then trying to implement this plan and structure, albeit a little bit away from the team.
Yes.
So that when I'm there, it comes in, I create impact, and we make it very, very dynamic going forward.
But it would be a bit difficult, Mickey. Would it be a bit difficult to execute your plans the way exactly when you were at field? Because as a head coach, when you were with the team on the field, you've achieved a lot. Like, I talk about Champions Trophy. I talk about Pakistan being the #1 T20 side. Under you, now you're not being physically here. Hugging the players, maybe shouting on them right in front of them instead of being behind a computer. Is it sometimes really difficult? Like, there are limits to it, right?
No, look, Sawera, in terms of my role, Grant Bradburn does that daily for me. So on the ground, exactly how we want the team to operate is happening. Again, as I say, it allows me time to sit away, to watch our performances, to have a look at our structure, to have a look at what's best. And sometimes it's best to just take a step back for a while before I join up with the team full-time from September.
Yes.
And I'm with them full-time day in and day out, where I will be hugging and communicating and shouting on them and having that emotion and sharing the good times and sharing the bad times. I still live that day in and day out, albeit a little bit away from the team. And as I said to you, it's not a bad thing, because the players at the minute are getting exactly what they want. They're getting structure. They're getting very, very good organization in terms of the camps. The players are ready. They know they're getting great communication. They know exactly where they all sit. When I come in, it just adds that impact again. So from my opinion, and certainly from my coaching staff's position, Grant and I are very aligned and very close. So it's working at the moment. It's working hard. Yes, I can't wait to be with the team, and I can't wait for that adrenaline rush of World Cup, which I seriously think we can win. But me coming in again is another lift for the team, and it creates that impact. So it's perfect. It's really good. It works really well. All the other team directors around the world sit a little bit away from the team as well, yes. which is sometimes not a bad thing, as I've said, because it allows you to look with an unbiased view as to what is happening. It allows me to assess all our programs against the other teams. It allows me time to talk to other people. Look, I'm involved with Derbyshire County Cricket Club at the moment, but I'm in the English setup.
Yes.
So I know exactly what their philosophies are. So it at the moment, and I can compare their philosophies to our philosophies. You know, I'm working with two. I've had Zaman Khan. I've got Haider Ali with me at the moment. I'm working with two young Pakistan boys day in and day out. I've spent time with Shaheen Shah Afridi. I've spent time with Hassan Ali. I've spent time with Shan Masood through the season, making them understand their roles going forward. So it's very, very, very beneficial sometimes just sitting a little bit back from the team, although I've got my fingerprints all over it.
Exactly, and you have that spider cam view where you can just not being in the field and see everything that is happening from outside and above the field, what is happening. But then again, coming to the team and marking their minor faults that they're doing in the knockout stages maybe. Yes, I know that you were not coaching the team after 2019, but you were connected with the team, that I know as well. From 2021 World T20, the semis, what was the wrong thing that we did? Where were we short in front of Australia when we faced them? Then in 2022 in the final, we had a very good run, and while coming to the semi-finals, the way we played in Sydney, it was wonderful, but then coming to the final at MCG, we were just outclassed by England. Those small differences, can you just mark few loopholes that you think were there present in those knockout pressure matches?
Yeah, look, those pressure games, and I think you've summed the word up there, Sawera. The word is pressure. The word is executing your skills under pressure.
Yeah.
Making the right decisions under pressure. You know, I sat and I watched all those games, and there were moments. And as coaches and as staff, all you can do is equip the players and then and give them the best preparation possible. And that's why we train, so that under pressure, players go to what they know. Players go to their best ball or best shots or whatever it might be. That all comes from the preparation that you give them. So for me, those little moments were pressure moments where we probably just made wrong decisions under pressure. Now, for me, it's about sitting with the players, making them understand exactly what those moments need, exactly what those moments need in order to bring a positive result for the team. So there's an education to that. And I've sat and I spent time with the players. We talk them through all these types of scenarios so that hopefully when they get into that position again, they take the correct option, because it's not about a skill at that point in time, because the players all have their skills. It's the word pressure, and it's how they handle that moment. That's the key, and I think that's where they've just gone wrong over the last little bit of a while. And hopefully that is rectified when we get to Asia Cup and World Cup.
Yes, and Mickey, these are the shorter format that I was focusing on and speaking about. But when I just move towards the tests, there's another thing that we have seen time and now what Team Pakistan has been doing during their tests, especially in the second inning when they come back. They cannot control the opponents. They cannot there's just one partnership that takes it all away from us. We cannot capitalize on what we have done previously and what we have done in the first inning. We cannot move forward and capitalize on that. Maybe there's something important that needs to be changed in the test format as well for this team. But before I take your answer, Mickey, I'll go on a break, and when I'll come back, I'll give you the time to think over it and reply me for the test format. I'll go on a quick break, and as soon as we'll come back, we'll discussion. Mickey Arthur, the serving team director right now, इस वक्त हमारे साथ मौजूद है. We'll continue our discussion. एक ब्रेक पर जाएंगे, ब्रेक से वापस आएंगे और डिस्कशन को यहीं से कंटिन्यू करेंगे. And welcome back to Game Set Match, in conversation with the team director of पाकिस्तान नेशनल क्रिकेट टीम मिकी आर्थर. एंड एक बहुत मजे की डिस्कशन चल रही है हमारी, काफ़ी चीज़ों पे क्लैरिटी आ रही है कि किस माइंडसेट से अब हमारी टीम ये पूरा जो सीज़न है वो खेलेगी. और अब या जाहिर सी बात है, वर्ल्ड कप की बात ना हो ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है, तो वर्ल्ड कप के हवाले से बात होगी. बट ब्रेक पे जाने से पहले टेस्ट मैचेस के हवाले से हम बात कर रहे थे और टेस्ट फॉर्मेट के हवाले से बात कर रहे थे, तो वहीं से डिस्कशन कंटिन्यू करेंगे. मिकी, बिफोर गोइंग टू द ब्रेक, आई वाज आस्किंग यू अबाउट द टेस्ट फॉर्मेट दैट we see the lacking in the second innings. We cannot control our opponents. There's just one strong partnership that takes everything away, and we are just without any answers in front of that partnership. Do you think there's something particular that needs to be tweaked?
I do. I really do. And I think our test cricket needs a bit of a reset.
Yeah.
We've spoken about that. We've spoken to the players about, I've spent time with Baba discussing it. I think we need to be able to take the game on a little bit more in test cricket. Our test cricket was very tentative and very negative.
Yeah.
It needs to be a lot more, there needs to be a lot more intensity around it. We need to take the game on more. We need to be able to absorb pressure better in the key moments, but we need to apply pressure. So when we have an opposition on the ropes, we've got to really put them away instead of only being a little bit tentative and allowing them to come back in the game. The minute test cricket ebbs and flows, but the minute you get your nose in front, you've got to be ruthless, and you've got to really, really close the door on your opponent. And that's something we haven't done over the last while.
And the best example right now is the Ashes that is going on, and the way they've been playing. They're like two bulls locking their horns together, and the way they've been playing. I think every test nation should watch these Ashes. The way Australia is handling England right now, it has been commendable, the way they've been playing, and maybe that is the modern way. Australia has just denied all that English baseball approach, and they have done their own way.
Yeah, they have, and we've got to play our own way. Hence, we brought in this Pakistan way. But what we know is that we need to take the game on a bit more, because our competitors are doing that. We play Australia at the end of this year in 3 test matches in Australia. We've got to have our game so on point there, otherwise they'll steamroll us. You know, so our competitors are playing this way. They've taken the game to another level.
Exactly.
We need to close that gap. And we need to be able to not necessarily take them on at their own game, because we need to play to our strengths as well. But we need to be a lot more dynamic, and we need to back ourselves and back our ability a lot more.
But Mickey, looking at the current FTP, does it worry you that we have very limited amount of test matches that are coming forward for us? This is the Champions Trophy, the World Test Champions Trophies 3.0 for Pakistan. We are starting our journey from Sri Lanka. And we just have 14 test matches in this complete FTP. Is that a point of concern for you?
Yeah, it is. It is, because I still think the best format of the game is Test cricket. You know, you just watch the Ashes at the moment. Every day is so compelling. It's great viewing. 50-over cricket and 2020 cricket can't bring that topsy-turviness. It can't bring the compelling moments. It just doesn't have that ability to. So that is really disappointing for us as a nation, because I do think we were a very, very good test team.
Yeah.
And if we allow ourselves the freedom to play, we'll be very, very good. But we've got to allow ourselves that freedom.
Exactly. We need to, and we need to have more test matches so that we can play more test cricket, because we all know the importance of this format. But now, Mickey, the hot topic of today, the hot question of today, because Asia Cup and World Cup, this is like the most spoken about topics in the last 10 months, if I would say. There were so many ambiguities around it, but eventually we have seen the schedule of World Cup coming out. We are just waiting for the schedule of Asia Cup, and it's like right at the corner. But speaking about Asia Cup and then the World Cup that will be happening in India, do you think the pool of players that we have right now, these will be the players that would be featuring in these tournaments, because in these events, because in the past we have seen every time when there's an ICC event, we just go back towards some of our seniors and we just knock their doors that no, we want our seniors to come back and support us with that. Are we doing that again, or no, we are confident with this current pool that we have?
We're confident with this current pool we have. So yes, we've got a pool of about 20 players that we've sifted it down to. Got a pool of about 20 players that are going to get opportunity to really put their name in the window for those competitions, and from the 20 we'll have to select 15. But the players know exactly where they stand. They know what that pool of players are now, and I'm confident that they can go and perform and play under that sort of pressure.
Okay, so there are a few names that come in my mind then, because when I say some old faces who are not right now in the circuit, they're like in the circuit of the national team. So but they are super fit, and fitness was always your forte. Mickey Arthur and fitness, it was like so many yo-yo tests during your last tenure that you had. Imad Wasim, Shoaib Malik, Haris Sohail, Mohammad Amir, though he's a retired player now, but yes, you never know. Omar Akmal, do they have a future with the team now or no?
Look, we picked a squad that played against New Zealand. Yeah. That squad of players is where we're gonna draw from. Haris Sohail was in that. He didn't play because of fitness issues. Yes. So a couple of those guys have put their names up in lights lately, but the squad that we have had for that New Zealand series and the squad that's going to go forward to Asia Cup and World Cup is not going to differ much from that. We had 20 players there. We've just got to cut it to 15. So it's not going to differ too much, because we've got to give the players the security. Yes. That the players that have played, that they're good enough. I don't want players playing with an axe over their head. I don't want players playing with an insecurity. So we've got to make sure that those guys know exactly where they fit in. It's been totally communicated to them already, and they are comfortable with the roles that we have given them. If they execute those roles to the best of their ability, then we're going to go a long way in the tournaments. 2023,
the World Cup in India. Are you satisfied with the venues that has been selected for Team Pakistan? Because there was some news of we playing versus Afghanistan in Chennai. It would be difficult for us. Maybe PCB even emailed ICC, which ICC did not entertain. Do we have issues over that?
No, we don't have issues, Sawera. Look, Afghanistan, and that was an internal discussion that we had. The one team you probably don't want to get in Chennai is Afghanistan, but we can't control that.
Of course.
I think that we're a good enough squad to be able to beat any team in any venue. Our squad that we select that goes forward to the World Cup will have flexibility.
Yeah.
It will be a squad that can play in any venue, whether it's spins, whether it's quick, whatever the case might be. We'll have a team that has the ability to win at any venue. So I'm really satisfied. I'm satisfied that the venues are what they are, and we can't really control that. What we can control is how we rock up at the World Cup. What we can control is our preparation, and what we can control are our performances, and that's all we focused on.
But Mickey, do you realize this is the first time that these boys would be visiting India, going to those conditions, having that fans' pressure? Have you planned to tackle that? How would you tackle that?
Look, that's something that we will certainly sit down and have a talk about the closer we get to that World Cup. I certainly don't want to cloud the guys' thinking around that right now.
Yeah.
It is going to be, it will be slightly tougher. We won't have our home support base, of which, the Pakistan supporters are certainly like our 12th and 13th men.
Yes.
Because they are so good and they are so passionate. So it's going to be tough, particularly playing India in Ahmedabad, where there'll probably be 100,000 people there, and there won't be much green in the stands.
Yes.
So that's going to be disappointing, and that's going to be quite tough to overcome. But the one thing I'm going to do with our players is I'm going to try and turn that into a positive. I'm going to definitely try and turn that into a positive, because if we can keep the stadiums quiet, we know we're playing good cricket.
Exactly.
And that for us can silently be our fans, our support base cheering us on. By keeping the Indian supporter base very, very quiet around our venues and around our games.
And don't you worry, we'll be there cheering for our team. In that pool of blue, you'll see some green. You'll definitely see some green.
I can't wait. Excellent.
But then, Mickey, you know that I've always been an advocate of a sports psychologist being on board with Team Pakistan. And this time around, I think it would be very, very important for these boys to have a sports psychologist, because obviously there would be good days, but definitely there would be bad days as well. It is a part and parcel of the game. And there should be a way that these boys could just communicate and get out of it as soon as possible during this major event. Do you think a sports psychologist is right now missing in your team?
Look, that's something we'll definitely talk about going forward. And, I'm not going to commit to it just yet, because I've got to, at the end of the day, find the right guy and the guy or lady. And it needs to be somebody who understands the Pakistan way.
Yes.
It needs to be somebody who understands the Pakistan culture. But it also needs somebody that's very, very fluent and good in Urdu. So the messaging is not lost in translation. It's something that we'll definitely talk about, because it's something I think that could be to the benefit of our team, particularly at that World Cup. But no promises on it. If we get somebody that we think can make a difference, we'll certainly look at it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm still backing in our players, and I'm backing in their ability, and I'm backing in their passion and drive to perform for Pakistan. So we'll be in a good place, Sawera. We'll be in a very good place, and hopefully, inshallah, the results go our way.
Inshallah. And that is a really difficult criteria that you stated. But yes, on this platform, I want to announce that there's an opening for Team Pakistan. If you're a sports psychologist and you know about cricket and you know about our setup and you know how to speak Urdu, yes, you're on for that. But thank you, Mickey. Thanks a lot. Just your last comments that you want to communicate to the fans of Pakistan cricket team. How would you want them to support the team? Obviously, we're very critical about it as well. As much as we love our team, that is as much as we criticize the team as well. Any last messages that you want to give to the Pakistan team?
Yeah, look, I just want the Pakistan supporters to know the team's in very good hands. the team's in a very, very good place. The team values your support massively. As I've said, the one thing that drove me back to Pakistan cricket is the emotion. It's the support. It's the chaos. It's the color. It's the noise. And all that goes into making our players better players. And the players love knowing that